How do you do, to all? Um, right, sorry about that. Yeah, I just want to show my Ramones vinyl. This band uh, was so, I don't know, influential, etc., etc. I saw them twice in the very early '80s and the late '80s in Sydney. The first one was when Dee Dee was still with the band, and the second time was with CJ's replacement. Both live, they were just a different animal. Their records are a lightweight pop in reality. When you hear them, when you experience them live, it's a different animal altogether. The second time I saw them, it literally, the vibration drove me out of the auditorium. I had to go outside for 10 minutes. Just I was getting a bit older, but that was like that was 31 years ago, and the Ramones are roughly my age. I'm 70 soon, and I mean Dee Dee died 20 years ago, and sorry, Joey died 20 years ago. I can't believe it. And Dee Dee 18 years ago, and Johnny 16 years ago, and Tommy 4 or 5 years. They're all gone. I just can't believe it. Anyway, enough waffling. Um, this their debut album, absolutely groundbreaking album, taking all the best things about '60s pop and punk garage. Just the first time I heard this, just played it over and over again. I thought it was a joke at first, but I thought this is hilarious. But then it sunk in. I realised how important this was. It's such an important statement at the time. The follow-up contains probably my favourite track by them. It's the quintessential early Ramones. Sheena is a punk rocker. It is just, it's. They took all the best rhythms and from surf bands, and their influences are the sort of, you know, I understand because I was on the same age bracket as them, and the music, I could hear what they were listening to, and it was the same stuff I was listening to, so I could understand their reinterpretation. Second album, The Ramones Leave Home. Sorry they're under plastic, but it's too big a job to remove them. This is probably their greatest album, best artwork. Third album, Cretin Hop. Sheena is a punk rocker. Again, see, this is the Australian. This is an Australian issue of The Ramones Leave Home. So I've got Sheena as a punk rocker twice. They took off Carbone and Not Glue off. Anyway, it doesn't matter which was banned. So I've got Sheena again on the next album. So look at this. This is the third album. Some people consider this their best. Very similar picture to the first album. And that wonderful Nordstrom, or whatever his name is. Yeah, John Nordstrom. Wonderful. Rocket to Russia. Jesus. Yeah. Such beautiful album covers, for a band that were considered beneath contempt by a lot of people, and I don't know why. They just got they don't understand, I suppose. They had wonderful album covers, there's no bad ones, some bands put out some good album covers, but the Ramones were consistently had great album covers because of Arturo Vega, a guy that championed them early in the piece and let them live in his loft free and fed them and all that sort of stuff. So this one's also considered their best. Road to Ruin, Rocket to Russia, Road to Ruin. Another great cover by Nordstrom. A little picture on the back. I Want to Be Sedated, I mean, that's another classic. Then it changed. They brought in Phil Spector, and this really was so out of character for them. You know, trying to look like real cute pop stars. It's a bit of a mistake. Though that does have one really, really great track. Do you remember Rock and Roll Radio? And Rock and Roll High School is another one. The rest of the album is pretty weak, in my opinion. It's not one I play very often. It's got two great classic Ramones headbanging, whatever you want to call it, tracks. The rest of it's pretty awful, really. Phil Spector. Not a happy experience for the band at all, except Joey. Joey got along with him. Then comes an album that's put down, and I don't know why. I think it's just as good as anything else they did before. Pleasant Dreams, produced by Graham Gilman, from who wrote all those wonderful hits for the Yardbirds and Herman's Hermits, amongst others. And of course, he was in 10cc, who were mighty in the, for a year or two, from 73 to 75. But this is a great album. We Want the Airwaves, All Quiet on the Eastern Front, The KKK Took My Baby Away. That's Joey writing a song about Johnny Ramone stealing his girlfriend. If you know what it's happening, that's what it's really about. She's a Sensation. It's a damn good album. It's a fine. It's terrific. But Johnny Ramone didn't like it. But then Johnny didn't like anything, really. Then they sort of changed pace again. And I really love this album, Subterranean Jungle. And this is... They did a couple of covers on here, a little bit of soul, but it's got a couple of really great tracks on here. It's just got a different sound. Psychotherapy. It's just got a different sound. It's produced by Richie Cordell, so he was a well-known producer. So it's sort of more professional, but it's still definitely the Ramones. I love this album. It's one that's rarely mentioned. And I love this. Anyone out there that's into that mo-fi and lo-fi sort of stuff, look at that line along there. Someone would see that and think, oh, it's a Mobile Fidelity or album. How funny is that? What wonderful artwork, huh? I moved to Canberra for 4 years, worked there for Australian Information Service, which was basically a front for ASIO and Australian. I won't get into that, But yeah, and it was a pretty miserable place, Canberra. Then I just, it was so different from Sydney. Sydney was grimy, tough, and rough, and ramble-tamble, and Canberra was just like some horrible, sterile, like Belgrade or something, But after a while, I got used to it. No pussy, not yet. And in a minute. And one of the things that got me through living in Canberra was the Ramones. Now, they had, this is their comeback. This is my favourite Ramones album, Too Tough to Die. I absolutely thrashed this album in Canberra. Mama's Boy, I'm Not Afraid of Life, Too Tough to Die. Warthog, holy mackerel, that is Howling at the Moon, commercial, very, very commercial. Just a great, great, great album. Fantastic. Just love the guys. And they reinvented themselves. They just got heavier. Instead of being the, thrashy, punky sort of stuff, they just got heavier. Like, it was almost heavy metal, almost. The follow-up, Animal Boy, not quite as strong as, sorry about the plastic, not quite as strong as Too Tough to Die, but with the new drummer, Richie Ramone. And he's a damn good drummer. He was the best drummer they had. He could actually play. And it shows on this album. These are songs that Richie wrote. Somebody Put Something in My Drink. I don't know, one other one. But it's a great track here. Animal Boy, Love Kills, 8-Man Bop. Bonzo Goes to Bitburg. Freak of Nature, produced by Jean Beauvoir. Not Boudoir, Beauvoir. And the last one I bought, this is the end of their great run for me. This is, sorry, halfway to sanity. And sort of, they're still great. This is just this is another great one with Richie on it. Garden of Serenity, man, that weasel face. In a minute, hang on. I'm Not Jesus, Worm Man. So that was how the Ramones, my relationship with the Ramones ended. So they still put out a few good things after that. And if you really want to see a great DVD, my favourite ones, DVDs on bands, are the one about the Who and one about the Ramones. I forget the titles at the moment, but you have to. They're a bit like jazz. You have to experience it live. Their records are great, but they're just tiny little pop, I don't know, trinkets compared with when they were playing live. They were awesome. Okay, bye now.